Susan Lerner, the Executive Director of Common Cause New York, and one of the founders of the Let New York Vote Coalition. And I am thrilled to be standing here with members of the Let New York Vote Coalition, including Make the Road New York, SEIU 32BJ, the New York Immigration Coalition, the Workers' Circle, and our national election protection partners from the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights. And we'll be joined soon by our longtime democracy ally, Gail Brewer. We're all gathered here today with just one message for New York voters and our friends from the Alliance of Families for Justice. We're all gathered here today with a clear message for New Yorkers. Our elections are highly regulated, safe, and secure. Our pro-voter laws mean that you can ignore any attempt to manufacture chaos on election day and cast your ballot proudly. But just in case you run into any trouble during early voting or on election day, we want you to know your rights, and we want you to know that there are resources available to help you. First and foremost, please remember, whatever happens, do not leave your polling place without voting. New York has protections that are pro-voter in place, and one way or another, you will be able to cast a ballot. Whether you cast a ballot that goes into the scanner or you cast an affidavit ballot, do not leave without voting. And if there is any trouble or you have any questions, please call the 1-866-R-VOTE hotline, the National Election Protection Hotline that's staffed by election personnel who can help talk through any problems and who can help get any problems to us and others who can help solve them for you. So even if you're challenged, it is likely that you will be able to vote. Common Cause New York and the Let New York Vote Coalition will also have nonpartisan election protection monitor volunteers at various polling places in New York City and selected locations upstate. So if you see somebody with an election protection name tag, they're there to help you and answer any questions that you have. And also remember, if you voted before in New York has no ID requirement. So if you're asked to show an ID, you can politely say that's not the law here in New York. So it's important to remember that our elections are locally run. There's not some faceless bureaucracy out there telling people how their votes will be counted. Our elections are local. The election administrators, the poll workers, and everybody who works on elections are your friends and neighbors. They have to be residents of your county. And they are drawn from both political parties to try and ensure that everything goes in accordance with the details in New York law, which are designed to allow every single voter to vote and have their vote counted. So between our organizations and others, there are a significant number of resources in the Army of supporters who are there to help you be sure that you are able to voice your choices at the ballot. So remember, early voting starts this coming Saturday, October 29th, and it goes through Sunday, November 6th. And of course, you can vote on election day, Tuesday, November 8th. So we're here to encourage every eligible voter to be sure to have their voice heard and to go and cast their ballot. And now we're going to hear from Liddell, who is an activist member of SEIU 32BJ. Liddell.
It's okay.
My name is Adele York, and I'm a member of 32BJ. For the past few weeks, I have been working hard to inform my fellow union members and the public about how important it is to vote this November. I know firsthand how important elections are. In 2008, I turned 18. I wasn't sure whether voting made any difference, but my grandfather encouraged me to go out there and make my voice heard. I felt how powerful it is to cast my vote and help make history, and now I encourage others to do the same throughout my union. Together with my co-workers, we have talked to thousands of working people, encouraging them to exercise their right to vote safely and securely. There are some candidates out there who are trying to scare us and prevent us from making our voices heard. Those candidates want to turn back the clock and pass racist, anti-worker voter ID laws if they are elected. But we say no to this disinformation. We say no to voter intimidation. We know our rights. Let's make sure every working person in New York knows our vote is our true voice. And we will make it heard this November. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks to BJ for all of the good voter contact work. We're going to hear next from Wendy Chen from the New York Immigration Coalition, and then from our national partners, Armani from the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights.
Thank you, Susan. Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Wendy Chin, and I'm the Director of Civic Engagement at the New York Immigration Coalition. We are an organization comprised of 200 other organizations are immigrants serving across New York State. And today we are gathered here today in anticipation of the early voting that will begin on Saturday, October 29th. I want to emphasize, this year, aside from being able to vote on critical roles such as governor and different state offices, New Yorkers across the state will also get to vote on important issues relating to the environment on the back of the ballot, as well as here in New York City, racial justice. And I think it's very important that voters continue to make their voices heard, not just on who represents us in government, but also the actual policies and infrastructure of our New York state and city. So our voices should not be silenced, and we do not condone anyone who is here for voter intimidation and voter suppression. New York State has no space and no room for that. I want to also elevate that our members are continuing their ongoing nonpartisan voter outreach to remind voters, to educate voters, and to assist them to the ballot box. And they've done this every single election, and they will continue to do it through this election cycle. They'll be calling voters, knocking on doors to make sure that voters have the information and continue to vote safely in the elections. New York State, we worked very hard as advocates to make sure that we have language access at the polls. So if you see anyone getting turned away from the polls, make sure you tell them to call 1-866 our vote.
Yes.
One more time, 1-866 our vote. And if you need language assistance, there's also hotlines in a number of other languages. So make sure you put that down, and make sure if you see something, like they say on the subway, say something. Have a good one.
Yes.
Armani Edie.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Armani Edie, and I am a national organizer with the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, an organization that works tirelessly to secure equal rights through the law. We also lead the Election Protection Coalition, the nation's largest nonpartisan voter protection network. So what you see here is what we administer, and we're very, very proud to be standing with partners today who, like ourselves, have a storied history with protecting voters' rights. I stand here proud as a daughter of Harlem, New York City,
Yes.
a member of this community, returning home to stress the importance of how imperative it is to voice your voice at the ballot box in November. We are in the early voting period. We are deploying volunteers. And just so you know about the Election Protection Network, we are a bad system, y'all. We are so good, and we are looking forward to receiving your calls. We are nonpartisan. We partnered you with legal volunteers who are answering your calls Monday through Friday, even Saturday and Sunday as we head into November. And we are so excited to be with you all today to stand up for what is right. We do not condone voter intimidation. And so if you are being intimidated at the polls, if you have questions, please do call 866-OUR-VOTE. In 2020, we showed up and we turned out. And so we expect to do the same thing in November. So again, if you have any questions, please go to 866ourvote.org. Again, that's 866ourvote.org, and we will assist you. Lastly, I could not leave this place without thanking our partners. Every single partner, volunteer, every single legal professional that helps us in our pro bono network. Thank you so much for moving our democracy forward. This could not be done without you. Thank you.
Hey. All right. Turn up, turn out, and vote. Next, we're going to hear from Perla Silva, who is the Civic Engagement Coordinator for Make the Road New York.
Make the move, yes.
Yes.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Buenos días.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Perla Silva. I am the Civic Engagement Coordinator at Make the Road New York. Make the Road New York is a grassroots organization whose 25,000 members across New York stand up for good jobs, good schools, affordable housing, and across and access to health care for all across New York. I am here today because I want to communicate. I want my community's voice to be heard in the upcoming elections, as well as we stand up together to demand respect and dignity for all. While some politicians make up lies about elections and results and even try to change the rules for political gain, we know better. We are talking to thousands of Latino, immigrant, Black, and working class voters across the state, and I'm here to say our communities are voting and their votes will be counted. Whether voting absentee, voting early, or on election day, New Yorkers' votes will be securely and quickly counted. Together we are standing up in this election to protect our freedoms, to stop those who spread lies and misinformation, and to elect those who share our values. We need to elect people committed to solving problems that we face, like the rising of the cost of housing and other expenses, and the need for jobs that pay for a living wage. Not people who just want to spread lies for their own political gain. We are here today because we want we want to educate our community every day about how they can vote safely and secure by November 8th. And because we are committed to make it easier for New Yorkers to cast their ballots in future elections. Voting rights are at the heart of our democracy, and we will always be ready to stand up and protect for our freedom. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we're going to hear from Derek Perkinson, National Action Network.
Good morning still.
Good morning.
My name is Derek Perkinson. I want to thank Common Cause, Let NY Vote, and all the other organizations for coming together with the National Action Network to stand up for voting rights.
Yes, voting rights.
My name is Derek Perkinson. I am part of the National Action Network, New York State Field Director, Crisis Director, a civil rights organization that's been in existence 31 years by our president and founder, Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. Rev is fighting nationally for the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Act. I'm proud to say NAN locally has fought with other coalitions, and we won and got the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Act here in New York. This is very important. NAN is here today standing along our partners to encourage everyone who is registered to vote on November 8th and to share 5 facts with everyone. Fact number 1, voting by mail and using drop boxes are safe and trustworthy. Yes. Ways to vote thanks to numerous security features that protect against fraud. That is a fact. Must vote, go vote. That is a fact. Fact number 2, multiple layers of security ensure that voting machines are accurately recording votes. That is a fact. Must vote, go vote. Fact number 3, machine counting large numbers of ballots with multiple contests is more accurate and reliable than hand counting. Must vote, go vote. Fact number 4, election officials are obligated to certify accurate election results, even if the officials don't like them. This is a fact. Must vote, go vote. Fact number 5, the Election Registration Information Center, ERIC, is a non-partisan, non-profit organization used by more than 30 states to improve the accuracy of our voting rolls. This is a fact. Must vote, go vote. So we would not let the election deniers continue to put misinformation in our ear. The New York Times.
And now we're going to hear from Ann Toback from Workers Circle.
Thank
Ranking
you.
on last names today.
So I'm the CEO of Workers Circle, and we're a national secular Jewish social justice organization. We were founded by Eastern European immigrants who came to the United States fleeing autocracy and persecution and seeking democratic freedoms and economic opportunity at the turn of the 20th century. And for more than 122 years, we've organized grassroots power within and beyond the Jewish community to win democratic election efforts, organized by common cause to ensure that every voter can cast their ballot without interference and with the assurance that their vote will be counted. We're here today to proudly say that our election system is sound. And when we all vote, we make a government of the people, by the people, and for the people a reality. We urge all New York voters to tune out the voices attempting to undermine our free and fair elections. Don't let anyone silence your voice in democracy. Go vote. As a Jewish social justice organization grounded in democratic participation for over a century, we know that the most important way to strengthen our democracy is to practice it. Whether you plan to vote early starting this weekend or by mail-in ballot or at your polling station on November 8th, we hope you will encourage your friends, family, and community to vote. At the Workers Circle, we will never forget the sacrifices our founders made along with so many others so that we can all live and engage in a democratic society today. Countless people have given their lives so that we have access to this franchise. When we vote, we honor their courage and sacrifice. Let's all keep our democracy alive and thriving. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Our last speaker this morning is Sophia Elijah from the Alliance on Families for Justice.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Sophia Elijah, the Executive Director of the Alliance of Families for Justice. We're a nonprofit organization based in New York, proud members of the Let New York Vote. We are headquartered in Harlem. Our mission is to support, empower, and mobilize families who have incarcerated loved ones and people whose lives are justice involved. We stand in proud solidarity with this effort to make sure that voting rights are expanded and not rolled back. Expanded and not rolled back. Poor Black and brown communities have been disenfranchised, had their voices marginalized, not for years, not for weeks, not for months, but for centuries in this country and in this state. New York has a sad history of trying to disenfranchise, in particular, poor Black people. This effort to send out disinformation is another effort to disenfranchise and make sure that we shrink our democracy instead of expanding our democracy. We stand in strong solidarity with all people, all freedom-loving people who want to expand access to the ballot. Don't shrink access to the ballot. Any effort to shrink access to the ballot is an effort to disempower poor Black and brown and other marginalized communities and people. So we're happy and proud to be here. We hope that everybody will get out the vote. We're in Rikers Island getting people registered to vote. We're in drug-infested areas. We're in the places where nobody else wants to go, because everybody who's a citizen in this state has a right to vote, and we're going to make sure that that right is protected. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody.